So basically, my name is Jerry. My legal name is Jiuyu, and I'm a high school junior in like a country day school in San Diego, California. And I wrote this paper on machine learning and chatting services in college search, a study on students' preferences and satisfaction. And so basically, here's a note. I really hope I would be able to make it to Vienna, but since I'm really busy with my high school finals, which is soon, and there's no time to get a visa, so just like the primary reason I can only join virtually. So that's kind of my regrets. But however, I'll respond to any emails or texts sent to me throughout the conference within like today or tomorrow. And here's my contact information. And about me, like I said, my name is Jerry, and I'm 17 years old. I'm a junior at O'Hare Country Day School. So for the background information for my project this is the very first paper that I'm publishing, which is very exciting for me. I'm very proud of my paper. And this was written based on research and studies conducted for an application that I built called College Core, which is available on Apple App Store and Google Play Store. And the chatbot feature, which is like the key or main feature of the application, is currently patented by the USA Patent Office. I think that's how you call that. So basically, I'm going to talk about my application, the using daily life as inspiration. As I'm a junior in high school, starting the college application process, I kind of feel the stressfulness of searching for colleges and writing essays while having the stress of schoolwork. So that lead me to new ideas such as creating something that most high schoolers enjoy doing to help make the experience less stressful. And based on my real experience, that I said, doing a chat system or chatbot is one of the best ways to resolve the stress, in my opinion. So based on that, I did a experiments. I asked a lot of students. To be exact, I asked around 100 students. Is it 100,000? Well, I asked a lot of students about their preferences in using College Core or the traditional method. So most of them, like 81% of them, said that they enjoy using the College Core version better. So that is why, which is a pretty good percentage, which is why I chose to make the app. Because comparisons of the traditional method and the my method. So before, the quiz is using the quiz style format to get information. As you can see, if you search on Google or any search engines, finding my perfect college, it gives you like a form they have to fill out, and usually there's a paywall at the end. So and this passive format, it is not under control of any students. So basically, it's very like, how to frame it? It's very like set, because it's not really personalized to every student, and that increases the stressful experience, especially when it looks like a quiz from school. It will increase the student stress. And then but like when you switch over to College Core, it uses a chatting style format for getting information. I'll explain that later in a later slide. And it's just an active format because it's fully personalized for students, and the students is able to control what the chatbot is going to ask them, allowing students to answer any questions. And this is very close to stress-free, because one of the main entertainment way that high school students use is chatting with their friends on social media. And using a similar method of using a chatting app as like an environment allows for similar experience for as chatting with friends. Therefore, we'll be able to reduce the stress for the students. So this is my application structure. It contains a front end and a back end. The front end is written using Flutter and Dart. The front end have 3 sections: home, AI chat, and accounts. This will be explained in a later slide. I think it's next slide. And for the back end, it's written using JavaScript, more specifically Node.js, using the Express library, and then Python, we use TensorFlow. And this backend like powers the AI chats the most. Because yeah, it's requiring, because every single time someone sends a chat in the AI chat front end, gets sent to the backend to be processed. And the way that the chat recognize what the students or users asking, we use TensorFlow with Python to come up with a model to identify which scope or intent that the user wants. And then data communications, like communications between backend and frontend, are using our Node.js Express server for processing and then sending it to the front end. And account management, we use Firestore made by Google as the database for saving necessary data, such as login informations. So here it explains more about the front end. Dashboard, it displays your current GPA or grade point average, which is like very important for college applications. And then a random SAT word to prepare you for the SAT. And then AI chats, it's just like an iMessage window. If you have an iPhone, or just a normal text message window, if you have an Android. It allows you to enter your message and press a button to send it to the backend for the chatbot to respond. And data is passed securely to the backend as there's some encryption method that is used during the exchange from backend to frontend, or vice versa, from frontend to backend. And lastly, the account page, it displays all the crucial information. It allows the user to change their email, change their GPA, and change their other stuff, and allows the user to log out or delete their account. And now I want to talk about how each of these components link with each other. So basically, for account, all of the information is the current GPA out of a scale of 5. And this will be used in the AI chats to try to find the best college that suits the GPA. And there's a lot of other information that is in the account that will be used to calculate possible requests done by using the AI chats. So it is very important that the account page is filled out very accurately. And also to protect the user's privacy, users can also choose to log out from the account page or to delete their account. And by deleting their account, it means all the data from the database will be wiped. And yeah. And then for the backend, this is the fun part. So this is like a flow of what will happen every time a data is received. So first, data received from front end. In our server file, it's using Node.js Express, and then it was sent to. We're also using a local transmission to send to TensorFlow, a Python script, to determine the intent of the user, which after it gets determined or returned to the Express page for as a JSON object. And the way that TensorFlow determines that the intent of the user is that it uses patterns and tags in a list of data. That is also an JSON file that gets updated as more messages are received, so that it becomes more and more accurate every time a request is made. And then after it's sent back to the JS file, the express file as a JSON object, it'll be specifically handled by different functions depending on the intent that the user is requesting for. And so basically after receiving the intents, it will assign the task to a specific function that is tailored to find the appropriate response. And finally, after the response is acquired from the handler, will be relayed back to the client. So basically, here's two possible outcomes. So if more information is needed, let's say there's like if the bot need more information from the user, a specific request will be encoded and it will be sent to the client, which the client will read and understand that you need to ask another questions, and the information will be asked. After that, it goes through the whole process again. And if there's no more information needed and the final response is acquired from the handler, another specific response will be encoded. It will be like, hey, I have the answer, send it to the clients. It will be securely sent and to the clients where the response is decoded and relayed back to the clients. So challenges, so for the challenges part, there's 3 challenges that I've came up upon while creating the application. The first one is finding appropriate and accurate data about the colleges. Making a chatbot about colleges not really useful without any appropriate, accurate data from colleges and other sources, because if the data is incorrect, what the chatbot will return will be incorrect, which will not be good for a student's career. And without accurate college data, to fix this, I searched the governments and education websites around the world in an attempt to find the most accurate data set for the bot while it is chatting with the users. And the final data is combined from multiple credible sources, most from government websites and trustworthy research websites, and also the government websites. I meant the integration websites, and these data are then converted into a JSON file or loaded into our backend server, which will analyze the data given by the user and find the best suitable information in the data set to return to the user. And keeping the data up to date is also another challenge, because having correct data is one thing, but throughout the year, every year there will be a round of college applications, and the data might change every year. So our data is, and since our data is like huge, there's like thousands of colleges in our database, and it's important for them to be like the most recent. But it is not good enough to update different batches with the applications. So basically, I don't have to really make an update to the App Store to update the data. So that is why the data is stored in our backend server, which can be updated in real time. And I try to update the data frequently, usually 2 to 3 times per month, to ensure that the data is accurate and up to date. And while some data are not updated for years, they're marked. And every time we try to update, they'll be prioritized to be changed. And then 2.3 is analyzing all of the data, because it is very important to have a good organization and analyze data for a good user experience. That is why we use, that is why we use TensorFlow for Python as a way to organize everything, because we created this Python, or not Python, with this JSON file that contains all the necessary information. So, and models to train the machine learning to recognize the intent of the user every time a request is made. And there's also, with the results from the algorithm after this is made, is to the intent determining function, colors quick and return, suitable and crucial information to the user, like I said before in the main page. And the communications between the front end and back end are also monitored every time and used to train machine learning furthermore to ensure better and more accurate understanding of the user's information. And yeah, that was like my presentation.